Okay, I'm gonna keep running with this. So this is part of the series where I appear in the same outfit. And so in the last video and the video before the last video, the word for that would be so pin in a series, like in a TV show or like just a series of any kind. The pin ultimate is the one before the most recent or the terminal that is the last in a series. The penultimate is the one that comes right before that. The anti-penultimate is one that comes the one before the most recent or the terminal and final would be the anti-penultimate. So in the penultimate and within the penultimate, the anti-penultimate to that video, I was setting up that I was referencing the development of young people or people in general as being appreciable in terms of both the point of appreciating patterns and the point of appreciating empathy, compassion, that is the identity of oneself in another. That might be what is so deep about that. Actually, might be what affords a female, whether as a child or or an adult or an elderly female, though some of the instincts around motherhood, motherliness, might be a byproduct that the mother simply recognizes herself in the child differently than the father. You might say that in nature, a lot of the YouTuber but also author Rollo Tomasi. I don't think that's his real name. That's actually like a name from a famous movie from the '90s as a character that he adopted and appropriated to his own name that he publishes under. But he has a lot of keen insight about like evolutionary psychology and different dynamics between the development and the experience of a male human being and a female human being. I think he references a lot. He actually observed his own child a lot, where he gained some of his insights. I think that would be unique to what an ordinary person would be privy to. But he says that that part of like a lot of like say if you have a male and that man a woman is unfaithful to a man, um that man might be a little bit fixated upon how, who, what, when, where, why, and how she could do that, who, what, when, where, and how, why she could do that with, and who, what, when, where, why, and how they did that together. And the reason that the man is having the instinct to be concerned about that or preoccupied with that, stuck on that, fixated upon that, is because on a deep level, a male always wants to ascertain the viability of his own genetics and also how that would apply to a child or a woman that he's associated with or invested in, so that a male somehow as an instinct has an interest in the genetic heritage of a child, and is this really my child and my heritage and my line. A male can appreciate that, the can feel that on a deep level even before becoming an adult. Like when I remember when I was a little boy, I would fall in love with different girls, and if I saw a girl so much as like smile at another boy or just even like hint at another, the idea of another boy, that would hit me hard because I wanted to be, I you want to be interesting to someone who is interesting to you as a young boy. But that might be actually a deeper part of actually being a man, because something of the man is in the boy already. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a standpoint for him to one day become a man. But it might be part, according to like the thought process of Rollo Tomasi, is that it's part of ascertaining and confirming genetic heritage lineage for a male. And that might be also because, according to Osho, is that a man can never be entirely sure that a child is his in nature. A man can't be entirely sure of that because he's not with a woman all the time, and a lot of women are experiencing like interest in advances all the time. So on a certain level in nature, a man cannot entirely confirm and ascertain whether any given child is his own, howsoever sure he may or may not be. Other YouTubers, such as some YouTubers, have suggested that when a woman gives birth to a child, that woman that child is composed of more than what's appreciated as their biological father, because that woman's body has taken in a lot of different maybe men, or if she like even before she had become a woman, the different boys that she was interested in would have some influence on her on a very deep level. Then also just her influences in life, impact. All of our influences shape us traumatically. I mean, not traumatic. In all of our influences shape us profoundly, but that might be different between men and women, and so that something of a of all the influences upon a woman would have a bearing on her child, where that child might have characteristics or maybe even strengths that would be a part of some of the energies that that woman has been exposed to over her lifetime. But however, the woman can confirm that the child is in fact hers because she saw the child, she saw herself give birth to the child, so she can confirm that that is her child. But yet also maybe on a deep level she can appreciate that that child is also somehow influenced by the different people that have loved her or that she has loved, that she's influenced by. But as a male goes, a male has a little bit of a bias or a prerogative to want to confirm that the child had been his. So, but at all times, a male is a little bit less sure that a child is in fact his, and that might affect how a male bonds with that child, but also other people in general. A mother is more certain that a child does belong, is her, it does reflect who she is and is a part of her. A mother can see herself pregnant, see the child, you see yourself give birth to the child, and see the child grow up. Therefore, the mother can appreciate herself in the child to a different degree than the father could, howsoever sure the father is that that's his child. That might have to do with some of the motherly instincts that are expressed as compassion and empathy, where sometimes that compassion and empathy can go broader than her own child. My mother a lot of times would appreciate different children that I grew up with as really a part of her. Like my mother has a connection to some children that I was friends with that is it's not it's deeper than what an ordinary adult or just a bystander in the community would be bonded to a child that's not their own. My mother is like that. And then different mothers of my friends, I had an energy with some of those mothers, and I got lessons from some of them that is deeper than would be afforded to a stranger or a man in general. In that they somehow connected with me and bonded with me deeper, partly because I was so close with their children and therefore them, because they can see their self in their children. So if they love their child and I love their child as my friend, then that's a connection that we have now. But all I meant to say is that that empathy and compassion is what I appreciate as a marker of maturity, but they don't always go hand in hand. And so sometimes a person that is young can have empathy without the pattern recognition, or they can have pattern recognition without the empathy, or a person who is much seasoned in life can have the empathy, and maybe they haven't come to win the lessons that they've been given, so they don't have the true pattern recognition that would be attended by that much living, or they might have a high degree of pattern recognition and not as much of the empathy that can be appreciated generally. And that might just be the different way that we're all shaped, because it takes diversity in a community. According to the author Sebastian Junger, you can have people from the same family, the same socioeconomic standpoint, and similar influences in relationships, but they can be entirely different in outlook. That is discrimination of an environment of experience, that is attitude, that is values, that is reflexes, completely different reflexes around things. And that's actually healthy. It makes a community more viable on the broad sense, because it gives a broader base for perspective and approaching different situations and challenging one another. So that's actually very healthy, according to Sebastian Junger, the journalist and wartime correspondent. But all I meant to say is that so in the interest of that, I'm going to offer these next videos to say that one person who commended that is Nassim Nicholas Taleb, and he commended people who stood up for, who thought originally and stood up for what they had to say. So I'm going to attempt some difficult statements, but I'm going to do so in the interest of maybe helping other people. So therefore helping therefore like a degree of empathy in bringing forth the best, but then also standing on that and being brave enough to offer it on a public platform in that spirit. So I'm just prefacing these statements with that.